And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second series of the night. And we're going to be jumping in mid-series. I had assumed that FoxeR versus Eon would be ready, but no, we are jumping in mid-series into the first round. FoxeR versus El Nino, Pat. Let's go. We have our next series, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have, representing Berserker Esports, the American Terran. It is FoxeR. And in the top left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the pink Zerg. Representing Death Zone Gaming, it is Nino. El Nino, papi, El Nino, let's go. Now again, Nino is more of a amateur player. I mean, his team is not quite Death Zone Gaming, it's Death Zone Academy. It's their academy team, but it's great to see, of course, that he has been competing for a very long time. It's a player that I recognize. I'm pretty sure I've seen him in the chat a couple of times as well, so do love to see him. And he's up against a more established pro player here. FoxeR is one of the stronger Terran players in the Americas. When I think of the current American region, the current American roster of Terran, I think Vindicta, I think Future, I think FoxeR, or Dolan and FoxeR as well. An Epic, and there's actually a lot of Terran players in America right now. True. Now that I think about it. But regardless, he is up there, and we'll see how they compare. Again, Eon is patiently waiting for the winner of this series in the next round. And is, I'm sure, just chilling, lying in wait for even how FoxeR does approach this. I'm ready. I'm excited. For now, we do have our standard openers. It is going to be Hatch Gas Pool here out of Nino. Meanwhile, we do have a FoxeR opening up with a Rax Expand. SCV Scout moving out, and CC on the low ground. Everything so far is looking as it should. Meanwhile, shout out to the Ursasaurus Cup. Let's go. You can't really see it on the more blown up version, but yeah, that is a little Ursasaurus logo just underneath the Stegosaurus. Beautiful. I was wondering, I was like, I feel like this logo is very Stegosaurus dominant, but no, you have the Ursasaurus, you have the Ursa as well down there. Beautiful. Love to see it. Again, for those that are curious, this event is funded and sponsored by these two lovely individuals, by the Stegosaurus and by the Ursa as well. That's how they've come together to create this event. And we've come together to cover the event as well. You know, ourselves and many of the other content creators out there, or casters, whether it's in English, whether it's in another language. We have Enki casting in Spanish, we have Rocklets casting in Portuguese, I'm sure many other languages. Oh, there are commands in the chat. There you go. The Ursa, the Stego. Beautiful. Oh, as the Reaper does dance. Nino's going for a Link Flood. Wait, what? Okay, no, we're good. I did see additional Lings on the way, and we have made 9 Lings in total. That is a big reaction here for Nino. I'm a little bit concerned with the sheer amount of Lings that we have invested in. Link speed is on the way. Nino is stuck on 2 bases as well. The Reaper, a little bit greedy, does not quite get the tumor, though. FoxeR has to back off. Lings are amassing. And do we make another wave of Lings, or do we drone off from here? What is the plan for our Zerg player? Okay, it's droning. Is going to be droning up, is going to be saturating his 2 bases, soon to take a 3rd. So it's going to be a delayed economy here for Nino. I'm not opposed to this, though, because the 3rd base is so late. Double expand. Double expand for the Zerg. That will make up for the otherwise later 3rd base. Meanwhile, back at home, FoxeR opening up with a 3rd CC. 3 CC Banshee here from our yellow Terran player. I mean, I said Banshee. There is no Tech Lab. Yeah, the Tech Lab is actually quite late here, so the opener is gonna be a little bit different. There's a reason why it's late. We're going Viking first. Okay, Viking first here for FoxeR. This can lead into faster stim instead. So a different variation of a starport opener here. Can you go into faster stim? Harassing with the Hellions. Ooh, and the Hellions will bypass the Queens. FoxeR, he does slip by, does get into the middle line. Drones are going to be going down. Oh my god, they line up. 2 workers do fall. And Nino will clean this up. And losing 2 drones, that could have been so much worse. Does defend, and meanwhile across the map, no add-on swap. It's going to be Viking into Liberator. And stim has begun. So FoxeR are going to be harassing with Hellion Lib. building up towards that eventual bio move out. Meanwhile, Nino going into roaches. Interesting. Again, I don't think I've ever casted Nino before. I've heard of him, I've seen him, but I've never quite casted him before, so I'm curious as to his preference of style, taking extra gases, going for a lair in the main, headed into roach production. Roach play can be a very safe way to play ZVT, that is true, but what I'm most concerned about is the lack of drones. You can see here the third base is, there is no workers, there's no saturation at the third or the fourth either. Right now it's purely larva. On the one hand, I would assume this would be just for larva maybe and for an all-in, but Nino is still droning, just was heavily delayed by the open. Ooh, and the Hellions are here to wreak havoc. There's no roaches! The roaches are barely not ready in time. Lings, they try to keep up, but they're going to get roasted by the Hellions. Lings go down, and now FoxeR can go right for the mineral line. He can go for the drones, and there's not much here to defend. Roach production has begun. The drones, they do get away, though. Oh my god. Nice queen movements. I must say, the queens will actually keep the drones alive, and Nino only loses 2 workers. Only 2 drones go down, but he's still in a low drone count. Like, despite not losing many workers, it's going to be 5 dead workers in total. Despite not losing many, he still doesn't have enough. We're still on 37 workers here. Barely any drones to speak of for Nino. He's heavily oversaturated. There we go. He's now going to be pulling back into the main. The Liberator has arrived. And the lack of economy is, or the lack of droning is really what's hurting Nino more than anything, as he supply block. No, the overlords. More overlords going down. A heavy supply block here for the Zerg. And FoxeR, he's getting ready for the eventual bio move out. Stim is done. Combat shield's on the way. His third base up and running. FoxeR almost has double the worker count and is still hunting for more overlords. Yeah, as Nino is making 6 overlords back at home. Ay, ay, ay. It is a brutal position, and if Nino did want to go into something like a roach timing at some point here, which I assume he did just because there's no Evo chambers, there's no upgrades, is building up roaches, but yeah, just can barely not sustain himself. Or just can't sustain himself. Not like this. Not like this. Nino's actually investing quite heavily here into roaches. Again, investing into Roach Ravager, and this will give Nino the best chance at surviving against his next push. As FoxeR is only moving out with his double drop, keeping his tanks back at home, keeping his reinforcements ready, only moving out with a double drop. Oh no, he got the critter! No! FoxeR, you're an animal. Oh my god. He specifically targeted it down as well before he killed the tumor. Ay, ay, ay. Este FoxeR. Leave the critters alone. As the FoxeR is going to be forced to pick up, Nino does defend. Is on 2 base saturation, but still only on 2 bases. Still just building up more Roachling. Roach speed is almost done. And I imagine Nino's going to want to move out with this. I would imagine. FoxeR going for a split push. Double jump on the right. Double jump on the left. Leave the crab alone. Oh my god. Okay. The crab is blending in. He's got like the same color scheme as FoxeR, as the Marines. Hoping to survive. Double jump into the main. FoxeR moving out towards the left hand side. Does catch a queen. Oof. Yeah, these Marines are trading far too well here. 1-1 is done for the Terran, going for the hatchery. Doesn't quite get it. The hatchery does survive, but in the main base, Queens are pulling drones as well. And FoxeR is pulling Nino apart. Just pulling him left and right. FoxeR jumping in towards the third. There are Queens in position. Oh my god, we do target down the medevac. Not bad. Medevac does fall a full one as well, but at the same time, the hatchery does fall. There was no saturation, true, but still a big loss here for Nino. Once again, heavily supply blocked. Getting to his overlords. And FoxeR is about to max out. Back at home, he's just been chilling, getting his 4th base, getting a planetary, and here comes the main army. You've seen what FoxeR can do with some drops, and now you'll see what he can do with his main force. That is going to be 6 tanks, Mass Marine, Likewise, FoxeR is actually still waiting. He does max out. He does reach that 200 supply, which has given Nino the opportunity to actually build up an army to work with, but we're lacking splash damage. There's 2 Ravagers. Wilds have potential, but with only 2 Ravagers, it's going to be a tough hold here. Likewise, Nino has inflated supply with mainly a Roach-based army, so the soup does lie. FoxeR's actually further ahead when it comes to the army size. And here we go. The choke point is brutal. Oh my god! Nino pushing forward, and it's a meat grinder. Massive tank bullies go up, the roaches they crumble, and FoxeR can keep going. He can keep pushing in. Rallying forward, that's going to be 12 Ravagers on the way. Let's go. Building up additional Ravagers, which will help. But these are still 0-0 Ravagers. Army steaming in, catches out some queens. Tank bullies going up. And 1 tank is going to be wild down. But Nino still takes some brutal tank shots to the face. The 3rd base goes down. And FoxeR can keep moving out from here. Slowly edging forward. Wilds they... Oh, will connect. Oh my god. Okay, Nino. I see you. Connects to the Wilds, takes out every single tank as well. Honestly, really good target firing with just the regular Roach Ravager attacks and the Wilds as well. Like, Nino making the most out of a bad situation. As FoxeR does stim in. Yeah, still just rallying across the map. A better trade for FoxeR on top of the ramp as well. Takes down almost every single Ravager. There's 0 Ravagers left. The 3rd base also crumbles, and from here FoxeR can snowball. He has been snowballing out of control, just taking every base on the map. More bases, more expansions, and he's been left alone as well. No damage to his own economy. The roaches are doing what they can, man. They're doing what they can. And FoxeR's army is somewhat overstimmed. Oh, he was doing some drop micro with the Marauders. Shaking my head. GG, well played, FoxeR. We'll take the series 2-0. We'll advance on to the next round. GG. Again, FoxeR was favored coming into this. FoxeR is a pro player, but a big shout out to Nino because Nino is more of an amateur. For those that are curious, he is Diamond. He's a Diamond player. He's on the academy team of Death Zone Gaming, which is a Brazilian team. And even though this series may have been a little bit more one-sided, I do appreciate that he did partake in the events. I don't know if you noticed, but this bracket is full of amateur players. It's not just pro players. So if you're out there, if you want to play against Bjorn, if you want to play against Shin, if you want to play against some of your favorite players, I always champion competing in these tournaments. Back in the day, back when I was Diamond as well, or even Platinum before that, I'd play in a Lima League, and on a weekly basis, I'd play against Innovation, I'd play against Ryung, play against Bunny, play against Keen. A lot of Terrans, actually. I don't know why the brackets were like that, but I played against a lot of the Korean Terrans. It's always a lot of fun. Always a lot of fun playing against the pro players. And yeah, so shout out to Nino. Shout out to Nino. And I hope to see more of him in the future. Hope to see his rate of progression over time. GG. GG, well played. With that, FoxeR will take the series, and we're going to be getting ready for our next series here. We're getting ready for our second round. There's a reason why we were following FoxeR, and the reason for that is this. We have Eon versus FoxeR coming up next. Let's go.